In this video, we will be replacing the upper radiator hose in this 2008 Hyundai Elantra. Through the driver's side door, we can pop the hood, and after releasing our safety latch, we can gain access to our engine bay. Once we've gained access to the engine bay, we want to locate the upper radiator hose. This is located towards the front of the vehicle, or towards the bumper up near the top. Taking a look from a little different angle, we can clearly see the upper radiator hose as it is connected at the radiator and into the engine essentially. On our radiator side, we have a clamp that will need to be removed, and this can be removed with a pair of channel locks. The other side of that upper radiator hose, where it is essentially going into the engine, we also have another clamp that needs to be removed. We will then work off the upper radiator hose. You may want a drip pan underneath it. This particular vehicle uses propylene glycol, which is not dangerous if an animal were to drink it or something. If you use traditional ethylene glycol coolant, you will want to make sure you catch that and have that disposed of properly. And we can work that hose out. Now for this repair, we will be reusing the clamps. I personally don't particularly like these clamps. I do like the worm clamps better. However, these clamps are in good condition, so we will be reusing these same ones. So at this point, we have our old radiator hose, which we have removed the two clamps off of. We have our new radiator hose, and I like to do a visual comparison to make sure that they look the same, that they're the same part, and that it should go on in the same orientation without issue. Now, part of the reason for doing this repair, the original radiator hose is starting to show signs of a little bit of a bulge up near where the clamp was. Additionally, it is quite a bit weaker when you squeeze it. So this is a good indication that that radiator hose may be starting to fail if it feels pretty squishy, and when we start getting that little bit of a bulged area. And the same concerns were noted on the radiator side of that radiator hose, where we have a little bit of a bulge and it's a little bit weaker. On my new radiator hose, I will be installing the clamps, and I'm making sure to install those a little bit further in than I need to go so I can bring them back and catch onto that input port. We can then return to the vehicle and get that into position. And I'll start by working on the engine side of the upper radiator hose and moving that clamp into place. Then we'll jump to our radiator side, get that worked on, and move that clamp into place as well. Because we lost some coolant by removing the upper radiator hose, we need to replenish that coolant. I have measured out a 40% mixture of distilled water. I'm going to be using Amsoil low toxicity antifreeze and coolant. This is the propylene glycol formulation. This is that quote-unquote safer or low toxicity formulation. As per the directions, you want to be mixing this in a 60-40 ratio. Thus, I have measured out 40% of this gallon of distilled water. I filled it to 40%, or to my line, with that distilled water, and I will fill the remainder of that with my propylene glycol coolant mixture. I'm going to begin by adding some coolant through the radiator cap, which is located just in front of the battery. The radiator cap does have a warning on it that you do not ever want to open it while it is hot, because the system is pressurized and it will spray hot, scalding coolant all over you. This vehicle has sat for the last 8 hours or so, and I know that the engine is cold. To remove the cap, we need to press down and rotate counterclockwise. I like to do this with a towel, just in case for some reason the engine might be hot. There is at least a barrier between the coolant and myself. And using a funnel and our newly mixed coolant, we can top off the cooling system. You can gently squeeze the upper radiator hose to help force some of the air out of the system, which will allow you to add more coolant. And when no more coolant will drain down, we can replace that radiator cap. And we're replacing the cap by pushing down and rotating clockwise. I'm next going to take a look at my coolant overflow reservoir. This is located on the passenger side portion of the vehicle. I can see that there is a low indicator mark and a full indicator mark. If I take a look at my coolant level, I am right in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit to bring this up a little bit closer to the full mark. And at this point, I'm going to run the vehicle for about 20 minutes. I'm going to make sure that there are no leaks. I'm going to make sure that everything sounds right and looks right. After that 20-minute time frame, I'm going to let the engine cool completely down, take a look at my coolant level to verify it is still within the acceptable range, and do one last check and make sure everything looks good.